All right, so it's October 4th, Saturday, and I found this in the trash this morning with the remote. I figured the screen might be cracked, something wrong with it. I have no idea. I've picked these up before in the past, and most of the time I've been burned, you know, not literally, but basically the TV's usually thrown away for a reason. But this one, it's only 4 years old, and as best I can tell, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm resetting it. I thought at first that the remote's batteries were dead because it didn't want to do anything, but it seems to be working just fine now. I can't believe it. I understand that these TVs are, you know, what, like 200 bucks, if that. They're not very expensive. This one, everything works on it. The sound works. I haven't hooked it up to the internet yet to try it, but I also found a Toro blower, which I'm probably just going to take the motor out of and scrap that and get rid of the plastic. And that's basically it for this clip. All right, so I found a few things this morning. A couple vacuums, a whole house fan, and another one of those electric edgers. We'll pull that out. All right, so this is what I found in this load. Out of all of this, as far as usability goes, this Eureka is probably going to be the winner. It even came with a couple extra bags. No idea what kind of belt these take, but obviously it's not that hard to figure out. When I have found these in the past, it's almost always like these brushes are always missing. And this was kind of like a gimmick of these machines, but kind of interesting for what they were. I had a gray one probably about 10 years ago that I did some videos on. Definitely search through my videos for that and you'll find it. But I'm sure this thing still works fine. So we'll get that triaged and see what it needs. Now we have this. Unfortunately, this thing was abused, and how I know that, they were running it without the bag. So if I were to fix this thing and try and save it, I would have to replace this whole outer bag assembly. I'm not even going to bother trying to screw with it. That's just, it's too sun damaged, and it's likely been rained on, been left outside, who knows. It's not worth saving. The rest of the machine, what's good about these is parts are still available for them. Because it's got a lifetime belt in it, we likely don't have to change that out. There is a notch that's in here that we are going to have to replace because this thing is not going to stand upright like it should. So that's a pretty common issue with these. You can't really get away from that. They definitely improved these with the later design. But this one, if I can find some parts for it, and it's within a reasonable amount of money, we might try and restore this one. I don't know yet. I got to see how much that's going to cost, because there really is a break-off point on stuff like this where it's just not worth fixing it up, but we'll see. And of course, this whole house fan, and I even got a free capacitor with it. That's cool. As far as I know, the motor turns and everything, so it's not locked up. I'll be honest, I don't have a use for a whole house fan. I would not install one in my house here. Our climate is just too dirty, too dusty, too dry. And unfortunately, if I was to try and use a whole house fan the way that they're meant to be used, it would just draw in a bunch of dirt from the outside air and really screw with my allergies. We had one in this house growing up, and we didn't use it for that long because of that. So I forgot to mention it, but yesterday I found a couple baseball bats, so that'll be used for some destruction stuff. Not too bad there. All right, so I did a trash haul video yesterday, but it didn't record any of the sound. So I'm gonna really quickly go over the stuff that I picked up yesterday, which was October 9th. First thing, found this mower. It is complete. It's got compression, blades in decent condition. It's even got fresh gas in it, but the bag has got a hole in it. But this thing should be an easy flip. I'm not really too worried about this one. Picked up this off-brand Workforce pressure washer body, an engine. And the engine I don't really have too much of a use for because it's a very specific Chinese clone. But the pump is why I grabbed this. Most likely, hopefully the pump is probably still good. So that would save me some money if I ever need to replace a pump on a pressure washer. Those pumps go for about 80 to 100 bucks brand new if you can find them on Amazon. And they are universal most of the time. I also found this Shark Navigator with a screwed up plug. It was made in 2016 though, based on the date code on the other prong here. This thing is going to be a scrap destruction unit. It's in pretty rough condition. There's no sense in saving it. I think I have an idea what I want to do with it, so we'll probably have some fun with this one for sure. In the back of the truck, I've got this Phantom stick vac, which is kind of different. I'm not too sure what I'm going to do with this one yet. It's kind of in rough condition. It's not horrible, but obviously I'm going to have to put a cord on it because the cord's been cut off. I don't even know where the cord would go on this. This thing's not rechargeable, is it? I have no idea. I'll have to look at that. Either way, we'll figure this one out for sure. Actually, I think it is rechargeable. So it's probably useless. Laska box fan, PlayStation Rock Band drum set. Picked that up from my brother who collects this kind of stuff. And then a Vornado fan. So I don't know if either of these fans are good. If this one is, I'll keep it. That one is probably, I'm not too sure what I'm going to do with it yet, but we'll see. So the Vornado works. Maybe they got rid of it because it's making a little bit of bearing noise, but that's not a huge deal. Works perfectly fine. These are somewhat pricey fans, so it kind of surprises me that they threw it away. There's nothing really wrong with it. It's in really good shape, so I'll keep this one around. Probably get rid of another one that I have kicking around. Stuff like this I don't really like to hoard. I like to kind of replace things as I get something better and then get rid of the item that was either older or, you know, just not in as good a condition. I also found this Dirt Devil. Let's see what model it is. That's the one thing I forgot to look at. 7180. So it's in really good condition. Just need to clean it up and throw a cord on it, of course, because, you know, why not? And yeah, I want to do a comparison video between this Dirt Devil and another bagless Dirt Devil I have, just to kind of look at, you know, how much the brand has fallen down, so to speak, from, you know, back in the 90s when this thing either way, this thing was early 90s, made in USA. Even though for how cheap it is, it's just amazing that it was made in this country back then. Unlike now where all this stuff has been outsourced out to China. So this thing will definitely get at least one video on it of the service and probably a comparison video in the future. So it's October 13th, Monday, and I just got back from a quick trash run. Unfortunately, so I picked this thing up, and this is a docking station for an iRobot vacuum, and I only picked it up because this piece on mine is broken. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to take this thing apart now because they decided to cut the cord off of it for whatever reason. I have no idea. I could just put another plug on there, but yeah, it's not that big of a deal. Figure I can make a video on how to replace something like this in you know, somebody's machine, help them out. So that's what we'll save this thing for. I'll see if I can harvest the parts out of it that I need, and then you know, go from there with the repair. I also found an Oric with the cord, and this is a classic model with the manual. Needs a new brush roll, but that's not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. We can definitely replace that and be all right. So I'll get you guys a video on this thing at some point. And we found a destruction vac over there, a yellowed older Shark. Same house as this one. So we'll have some fun with that. Also found a couple accessories that went along with it. I just grabbed these. I don't know if these are compatible with the new ones. I do have a new one right there that I can test this on because, yeah, I've got another one of these shark vacuums, my girlfriend's house. So if this thing will work on it, that'll be great. I don't think it will though. Found a somewhat working Honeywell fan. This thing was left outside. The motor shaft is probably rusted up. The sleeve bearings on these do not do well with a little bit of water or moisture. They start rusting, and then you start getting a lot of grumbly sounds from these, and then they just kind of slow down and quit working altogether. This one is right about to reach that point, so figured at the bare minimum it would make for a good destruction vid. If not, it does still kind of work, so maybe I'll tear into it and see what's going on with it, see if we can save it. Also found a new piece of luggage that I needed. Next to vacuums and all the other stuff you guys see me pick up, luggage sets are the most common, one of the most common things that people throw away. Why that is, I have no idea. Sometimes they're broken, a lot of the times they're not. You can spend a lot of money on luggage, these luggage sets, you know, $150, $200 for a set, and that's a cheap one. But people just, they've thrown them away all the time. And I keep my eyes out for ones that are in good shape, that are hardly been used. I don't think this one was hardly used at all. There was a bigger piece next to it that looks like it had been used, so that one I left. But this one comes with a little bag too, which I need this bag. And this one will replace the rolling one that I've been using for the past 6 or 7 years or so. So that's good. And then I found some Rick and Morty shirts in my size, of course. I needed some more shirts anyway, so these will go in the washing machine. And I didn't need this right now because I've already installed one of these on my side garage door here. If only I had found this thing, you know, a year ago and I installed that one, I wouldn't have had to spend money on one, but I'm going to hold on to this though, just in case. It's always good to have these around. Sometimes they do wear out. So just got back to the shop. This is all the stuff that I've picked up a little bit yesterday, most of it this morning. It's Saturday, October 18th. And let's get all this out. Everything's out now. I'll go over it real quick, show you guys what I got. This Kirby, I only picked it up for a few parts off of it for mine at the house. I had it restored by the Kirby factory 2-3 years ago. Honestly, I can't remember how long ago, but basically they changed out the mTOR on the bag as well as the top piece up here to the Avalier model. And I'm going to save these parts specifically just to switch them so it's back to stock. This machine is done for. It is too far gone. The bearings sound really bad. I am going to pull the motor out of the body and save it just in case, but it's pretty well done, and you guys will hear what I mean here. Yeah, those bearings are pretty much, they've pretty much left the chat. The cord is actually still in decent condition. It doesn't look that great. But the outer bag, of course, they ran this without an inner bag in it because, you know, why not? Looks like it was left outside for a certain length of time. It's got animal fur all over it, as well as corrosion in the body and base. So really unfortunate, but you guys, some of you guys that love Kirby's would be floored how many of these things I've seen at the curb in worse shape than this. People just, for whatever reason, they get one of these, they're given one, and they just let them get like this or worse. I see it so often when I see a Kirby. This one still had the cord on it, that's why I picked it up. And like I said, it's got the couple parts on it that I need for mine. But the rest of it, it's pretty well done for. I also found this saw. Looks like it's in good condition. Stuff that's kind of this old in age, I don't really like using because you can see the plastic is yellowed and faded. And then also the safety up here is no longer, doesn't really seem to work that well. So this thing will probably be scrapped. I'm not going to destroy it. It's not really you know, something I would want to destroy per se, but it's got a good heavy motor in it that I can pull out and scrap that. And then speaking of motors, I've got 3 of them. I've got a garbage disposal, a fan motor, and then a pool pump motor. So those will be scrapped for sure. Got some tweaker spaghetti here, which is just another word for wire, and a pretty good amount. I don't know what they'd give me for this, probably number 1. It's about 20 pounds worth or so. And then I've got some house wire there too. So that's all scrap. I've got a bin over there full of scrap wire that I'm gonna take in at some point. Got an Oric Buster B canister vacuum, and of course the cord has been ripped off of it. How old is this thing? I think this one's pretty old. Still made in USA, but that doesn't tell us much. I'm sure one of you guys will, oh, there we go. It's a 2003. There's the date code, 03134. 134th day of 2003, I presume. So we'll get a cord on this, see if it works. I only picked this up because the bags and the tools and attachments were right there with it. Every time I've seen one of these at the curb, I've never seen the hose with it for whatever reason. This one had the hose, so I figured I'd pick it up and throw a cord on it and see if we can get it to turn on or not. Found a Craftsman bag frame. The bag on it is trash, but those bag frames are well worth picking up because I can just get a new aftermarket bag off Amazon, and I believe I've got a couple Craftsman mowers that'll take that frame. So that was a score for sure. And then I found one of these pieces of junk. I see these things at the curb so often now. Most of the time they don't have the cord. This one does. It's the only reason why I picked it up. But man, these things are just, they're garbage. Some of you guys won't like hearing me say that like these for whatever reason, but these really are probably one of the worst stick vacuums you can buy. You talk about sharks and their planned obsolescence on their uprights. It's even worse on their stick vacuums. They'll come out with a new stick vacuum every 6 months. They'll support these for maybe 2 years. You can still get a power nozzle for them. I don't know if you can for this one, but for other ones I've picked up, they quit supporting them after a couple of years, and they quit making parts for them, and they basically force you to buy another one. Really unfortunate, but it seems to me that the planned obsolescence crap is worse on these corded stick vacuums, probably they're cordless as well, than it is their uprights. So I'm sure this thing still turns on, but I bet it's got all kinds of issues with it. I've seen these that I've picked them up where these hoses are worn out and they start cracking here. No telling what else is wrong with it, but we'll see what's going on. But this will definitely be a scrap destruction machine for sure. Then we've got this Hoover Caddy Vac, which is basically like a slightly newer version of the old Hoover Elite. And you can see they were definitely cheaply made back then. That's not necessarily a bad thing because these were decent cleaners for the time. And yeah, the cord's been cut off. It's really rickety. The plastic is definitely showing its age at this point. But this is what they're selling now, are these. This is, I think, the second from their top of the line machine right now. The top of the line machine that they sell has the fluffy roller on it, like those sharks do. So maybe we'll do a comparison, see what's going on with both of these, and throw a cord on them, see if we can get a video or two out of them. I believe I have bags that'll fit that Caddy Vac, but we'll have to see. I'll definitely try and save it, but patching into one of these cords, you basically have to remove this piece, patch into it, and then tie a knot and put it back in. And I don't normally like doing that with these because they take this very proprietary cord that's no longer made. I don't know. I just don't like fixing cords like that because it's kind of like a half-ass way to do it. You're better off just replacing these cords, but obviously they're no longer made anymore. And finally, I found a destruction table, or something I can use as a destruction table, and a wooden baseball bat for destruction. So this nightstand has been left outside for who knows how long. I would never put it in a house, but it's good enough for out here to put stuff on top of and smash for videos. So that's the only reason why I picked it up. Monday, October 19th, found a Tecumseh Toro recycler. This deck and bag should be a good candidate for a repower with another Briggs engine, if I've got one. I've got to look in the hoard and see what I have. But overall, this thing's in okay condition. It's a little sun faded, but that's nothing that I don't expect this old. I believe this is an early 2000s or late 90s model. Not 100% on that, and it does have some Black Widow webs on it. So found that this morning, and also found this Shark vacuum, which I only bothered to pick this up because it's got the cord on it. What year is it? Man, this thing isn't even that old. It's a 2024, and it already looks the way it does. Sucked up something wet. Typical. Hate to say it, but it's typical. Anyways, we'll get this junk out of the truck, see if we can find anything else. So it's Sunday, October 26th. Went out this morning, found 3 mowers and a fan. I also found a shipping box, but you guys don't need to see that. So we're gonna get both of these out and have a quick, better look at them. And then that fan, and then the Husky mower right there, we're gonna bring over to the shop because yeah, we'll get to those probably first. But these, I only picked these up for parts. I'm not sure if one or even both of them is worth fixing, but I do have a complete Toro mower sitting right over there that may need some parts off of these machines. So that's the only reason why I picked them up, that and that they're mostly complete. So we'll get these unloaded. I'm gonna have them just put right here for now, so it'll be easier to take parts off of them. Whatever's left over, it'll be scrap. I also have 2 Toro bags. This one's for a Lawn Boy, but Lawn Boy is owned by Toro. They use the same sized bags for a lot of their mowers. This thing, I don't know if this will work because this is a very specific bag for a very specific Toro machine, but we'll see what works and what won't. So here both of them are. You can see the state of disrepair they're both in. I may have some wheels in the hoard that will bolt up with these, but it's really weird. Some of the parts that these things are missing are just, I don't know why. The guy took the stuff off of them. Transmission was taken out for whatever reason. So we'll have to see if either one of these is worth fixing or not. But definitely the one that's over there will be.